Side lane power here, yeah. And my problem with going for the Gwen is that with the Nocturne on the other side, your side laning is not going to be very strong because you will always be vulnerable to getting Nocturnal. It doesn't matter if you think it's a 1v1, it never really is because Nocturne will just get on top of you. You think you're immune, but it's Nocturne. He's inside of your mist, and he's going to be doing a lot of damage to you. He's going to Stride Breaker you, and you won't be able to get away. You can obviously macro play it and be like, it's okay, Ryze is also showing up because he's got Realm War, but I don't think that relies on a lot of map control that KT won't necessarily have. I do think these are the most unique compositions we've had of the day. They're the most execution-based. It's a snowball.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game to track the bottom side of the map. Let's get into it. All right, KT fans, you can hear, feeling very, very optimistic as they did manage to pick up the game number 2. But T1, very, very good at winning game 3. Wolf, they've been excellent at it. It was against Condom Freaks, the only time where game 3 was not claimed by them. As we do have confirmation, Faker has 6 assists left to make it to 4,000, and then he'll just be a hair behind Gorilla and his largest assist record in the LCK.
Yeah, I didn't hear any Joe Marsh drums just yet in the middle of a game, so I thought, you know, he probably hasn't hit it yet because I know Joe Marsh is going to be, he's going to be playing the drums, you know.
Yeah. So we will keep track of that.
A few yordles on the KT composition as well. We saw that in the zoom in there as the Poppy and the Lulu, always just fun and strong. So feast or famine if someone gets ahead, cuz.
All right, Viklet has taken a bit of damage, but they get the flash out of Faker immediately. The flash to follow, and that is going to be the KT first blood. They trade 2 flashes for it, but they'll take that for the extra money.
Absolutely. That was a fantastic play there from Cuz and Vikla, a duo that very rarely work together like this in the early game. Because Vikla has been so poor in the laning
for players in different directions, right? You think of Chovy, you think of the Orianna angle, but I'll have to hold that thought as Zeus is taking a lot of damage. Owner in exactly the right position as the snips are going to come through. The fear comes down though, and Rascal is able to move himself out of the way. Owner getting distracted by a couple of different targets as Rascal somehow survives. Just at the very end of it all.
Wow, beautifully played there from Rascal. I thought he was dead for sure, but he turns around there onto Owner as their Cuz buys a little bit of extra time there for the Q cooldown to come back up. They both walk out alive. Yeah, this will relieve a lot of pressure, of course, here for Zeus, so still feels like a pretty nice win for him, but he's flashless now as well. Yeah, he is very close, as you can see the experience shown there, but Zeus is left on his own.
Yeah, no flash available. He is real dead. The Ornhorn comes through, but it's just going to run by. And so that is a free one.
Yeah, this will be a free Drake, of course, for T1, but I think the significance of a solo elemental Drake versus Rascal getting free plates here top side is way, way in favor of KT right now. And I think we'll get a little bit of extra farm here, but this is a huge win. And I'm loving to see Cuz when he's in his empowered state where he's unchained and unleashed and he is just going to actually gank all game long. Like, yeah, he falls 12 CS behind at this moment in time, but it's at the expense of Rascal, you know, and finally KT are really playing around different win conditions on the map than just, okay, is aiming ahead, is he winning? Because he's just going to naturally become stronger as Twitch, as long as Guma doesn't get too far ahead here. So, yeah, really liking this early game a lot for KT, and it's all in the back of Cuz, something we very rarely say this season. Far from over, but just love to see it when Cuz is on his best.
Yeah, exactly right. He's going to find Owner here, but yeah, you're probably not going to be able to win that one, but Phase Rush is going to allow him to speed his way out. Rascal with lane priority. It's going to be able to move down towards this Rift Herald. Gumushi and Keria, alongside Aiming and Life, are in this bottom side, so a 3v3 potentially available, but Vikla is going to get inside track. That should mean that KT will be able to grab some control, but Realm Warp to come on forward. The ulti's going to buy a whole bunch of time as Cuz is going to make his way out. The Ornhorn comes on through, but the Needlework is coming down and Rascal's going to pick up the kill. And now Vikla looking for even more. It's a great defensive shockwave, but I don't think that it's going to be able to get T1 the advantage, especially with Zeus dead. They should still be able to stop this Rift Herald from going down, though, and that is great news.
And Vikla's so incredibly low, but Zeri left the lane, so Aiming is just sitting on this one. And the thing is, KT, I think, don't need this Rift Herald right now. Like, it's not a requirement for them to win this, and KT now pick up an extra kill here. Control of this Rift Herald fight was theirs for so long that so many resources had to be expended. Faker's ult's down, Owner's Paranoia is down. So KT could just very comfortably push the top wave in. and then obviously force Guma to catch this bottom wave. Now let's see where this Herald does end up going and how much value it gets, because I may eat my words on this, but considering the state of the game right now,
the Realm Warp available is now Paranoia going to be used back onto the rise, gets the flash out of him. But T1 not able to continue getting plates there towards the top side. It's going to be equalized by aiming on the bottom side of the map as well, as Rascal, once again, going to have to contend with a lot of members of T1 up here.
Trading a plate for a plate right now here feels very good as KT. They don't have a Herald. Vika lost his flash for it, of course, but still okay.
All right, aiming could be in trouble. He's not going to flash just yet. Ambush goes down. Zeus is still going to breathe on him, but the Brittle not going to get procced. He doesn't have flash, but aiming's still going to have to get out. And Zeus should be able to claim himself a plate here towards the bottom side as well.
Yeah, solo plate here for the Ornn feels nice. As over here, Guma and Keria not going to be under the threat of death, but will not be able to be grabbing any additional plates themselves either, especially with Cuz in the vicinity. So just wave clearing this one out this is the world we live in. A lot of lane swaps, a lot of trying to get 80 carries plates, and the one that's in control actually gets to make the swap choice, as Cuz will be seen on this controller. But Zeus is really the biggest winner of this at the moment, as Fikla now has Realm Warp, but doesn't want to come over here, doesn't want to lose control of mid. This is going to teleport back to shut Faker down, who has a pretty significant CS lead, about 20.
Played.
Should be some extra plates for him, and knows that T1 have to respawn big here, dropping the Herald down in mid. Rasco's going to come over here, try to poke its eye out, but it will still connect here, but not a lot of gold being given to the 80 carry of Gumuzi, still in the Death Chamber.
Yeah, and Zeus has really been allowed to come back into this game. You can see aiming up here getting plates, but the same thing has been happening for this Ornn on the bottom side. So he's got 3, and that is why T1 are pretty close in gold. You know, it's 1.5k, something like that. But bottom lane farm has been going to the wayside here for KT.
Now, aiming has also been getting a ton of free farm here and a lot of extra solo experience because Life has been roaming around with his teammates. I feel like you said, the biggest loser here is definitely Rascal, because the lead he had, which would have been just an insane kingdom of side lane through the mid game, he now no longer has. And I think it's quite significant, because if T1, I mean, with this Nocturne pick, you can shut down the side laning pretty well, but if you're super ahead as Rascal was, you don't feel as bad about that, as they're just going to force this turret.
Yeah. This minion wave is going to go down. Faker was threatening,
but
just barely going to stay alive. And that's one last plate. They've got 10 seconds to be able to lock that one down. They might be able to get over there and take that one out, but the rest of KT are going to be rotating over. Vikla completes his crown, and so the plate is going to go to the wayside.
By the next break fight.
Ooh, Faker having to deal with Rascal here, who's got a lot of needlework available. Let's see whether the Alcove Gaming's going to work out. Just the dash over is helping out here. Cuz is going to move on up, though, as the Paranoia comes in as well. Faker's going to go down. Can Owner actually trade one back? The answer's yes, as Cuz looking to make it underneath this turret and will do so. It's a 1-for-1 in the end. Faker for Rascal. Now Vikla here down towards the bottom side, just fighting against Zeus, but he'll be able to get rid of most of the minion wave and get himself out.
Re-accelerated in this game as KT.
All right, big Ornhorn. That's a flash forward just to try and get some fear off. They had the shockwave there. The triple knock-up from Zeus, though, as he's taking matters into his own hands. Aiming gets shielded up, but it's just not going to do enough. As now Cuz is running out. Rascal turns up, but he's way too late to this party. He'll pick up an exhaust on his way out, but that was basically a wipe here for T1, as they'll take Shirley as their reward.
Certified Zeri moment. Now, Guma doesn't pick up any of these kills, luckily for KT, but this is the power of these scrappy fights against a Zeri in the mid-game where, you know, suddenly the game could just end if KT give over that gold. Guma's going to grab this plate now finally with the interim, or rather the end of the turret. Plate faded away. But man, this is a huge turning point in this game for T1. They've basically leveled up to even up here for Owner. And it's not ideal either. Like that, you definitely want those to be elsewhere, but I mean, it's going to give him a little bit more magic resist.
Yep, you want to get some kills on Gumushi as soon as possible here for T1. Exactly right. Faker is 2 assists away from 4,000, as we did make a slight error. Actually, no, he's 1 assist away. So we thought it was 6 at the beginning, then it was 5, and now I think it's only 4 that is required.
4 total looks like here, and he's very close to it. As aiming here now, again, starting to come online, but I think the Zeri is so much stronger at these parts of the game if everybody's grouped up for true 5v5s, which is why T1 feel amazing about starting this fight up on their terms here. No vision over the wall, but it's Zeus.
Yeah, and immediately, Cuz is going to deny a Bellow's Breath. Aiming's going to pop up. There's the final chapter. Ulti comes through to get rid of Zeus and the cat. It was a ult and Ornn get one free.
Bye-bye crown here for Vikla. Choke points still T1s. They've got a Zeri here. They've got an Ornn. No Ornn Horn, but still, with Extendo Beam, I just don't see any way here for KT. Realm Warp attempt.
Yeah, we are just going to reposition KT here as the Drake is going down low. Here's the engage onto Zeus. He's probably okay with that as the Shockwave lands onto 3. They do manage to take it away, and Cuz steals the Drake. Owner's going to fall down as well, as now Vikla taking a lot of damage. Gumushi standing his ground, but he has to flash to get himself out of the way. And KT just come in and take all of T1's stuff.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, too, like the build here from Owner, he's not that survivable. And without an Ornn Horn, Zeus also flashless here in the fight. Is just kind of left out to dry. Faker's follow-up ultimate is amazing, but the Drake is stolen away, and the damage is there for the Rise, who's very far ahead in this game. And you know, you didn't even have to stopwatch there. It's a clean team fight win for KT, and they stopped T1 from putting themselves on soul point here. I think if additional kills had gone over to Guma.
Kill onto life, but he flashes to get himself out of the way. Still, high value as Zeus on a flank angle here. Bellow's Breath and the Ornn Horn available here as in goes aiming, just frontlining on the Twitch. Owner almost dead, Faker almost dead as T1 are still running away from KT, but they still win out on the trade as far as the kill, but the health bar is definitely low on T1's side.
Yeah, they grab a kill, but they lose the fight, which in the long term means that they win because they get the extra gold there. It's unfortunate again an assist for Guma and not a kill. But so close to basically getting a double there was aiming, and if he actually is able to land that, really hurt his damage. Not only in a side lane, but in these straight up 5v5 team fights, where you can see he's now just chunked out by Faker here, who's got a ton of damage to this Luden's build.
Yeah.
And so suddenly it feels like Rascal no longer really a big threat here, neither in side lane nor in team fights here, as T1 have a 2.5 item Zeri, and always got to keep track of Faker's ult, Zeus' ult, these two tools that can just straight up win T1 a team fight, regardless of Zeri. Could be any AD carry if those go off. So KT have to play so respectfully. And they have, I don't think, any vision on Baron here, but they just know that the T1 aren't doing it. At least have the, okay, I'm wrong. They do have one ward in the pit there.
Yeah, in the back of the pit. I don't know whether that's shut off by the control ward or not. But KT still feel very happy to take down the Drake. And T1 not too worried about a second Ocean Drake at this point in time. It's going to be the next patch where we're kind of feeling better about it. But right now, Ocean Soul, not exactly the highest priority.
I feel like T1, it's a really cool recall animation here. I feel like T1 might have actually been able to threaten a Baron there and force a poor team fight there for KT ROLSTER, but
in some of these angles, as Cuz is just going to get back to full health, and him and Rascal are going to start off this Baron.
KT starts this off, Realm Warp
classic Realm Warp.
Okay, they're seen though.
Yeah, everyone is known. Half the health bar on this Baron as Owner is in the area. It's going to be a flip if they do decide to go for it, and KT not feeling happy about that situation, as T1 are going to say thanks for the leash as they pick up the Baron.
Buzz has flash. Got to be so careful about this. He's got ult as well.
Yeah, all information going to be available. T1 can cause a ruckus though. They can try and deny, as they do just back away. Both teams had a bit of a go with the Baron, and both teams decide that it's not worth the risk.
This game is so incredibly close that just one team wipe probably gives you enough control of the game if you get Baron with it too, that you just walk down, take inhibitors out, and map control is yours for the rest of the game. If not, just the game ends there. Because you're starting to get to the point where everybody is well and truly fed and online. So I like the decision of both teams to not just 50-50 this game and walk away, and we will go back to the lull state, which I know is very boring to watch, but at least if you're a fan of one of these two teams, you know it won't just be a coin flip that decides it all.
As Rascal is actually in a lot of trouble. He is going to be immune though, as Gwens generally are.
They get the ult out of Owner as well with this.
Yeah, actually.
I think that's actually a pretty amazing trade for Rascal. It's just like, all right, I mean, you guys really wanted to get me, but you certainly will not.
Might give a little bit of a window to KT.
Yeah, it's not going to be the ult that decides, like, KT, you're like, all right, cool, Nocturne ult's down, we can fight this.
Presence, but he is able to flash, does get himself to relative safety. Now Faker flashing forward, running forward, actually finds the Shockwave, gets a flash out of life, and Cuz is able to walk it out. As we are going to see some buttons, but not so much anything deciding here unless you count an inner turret going down for Rascal.
Yeah, that death cap really doing some extra value in terms of the autos here. As Rascal has a flank angle he can come on here with his ultimate with aiming, of course. The biggest ultimate down is his. KT ROLSTER looking to try to collapse on this.
Yep, they have a lot of vision available, but this Baron has not a lot of health bar as the paranoia does come through. Now KT going to try and coordinate the Baron that's going to go down, but can T1 win the team fight as Rascal going down very, very low? Cuz just knocks into a wall and isn't going to be able to do too much more. He is likely to fall down as Gumayusi gets his first kill of the game. Faker gets the 4,000 assists. And T1 take a Baron and win a fight.
That should be them taking control of the inside of KT's base as well. Life.
Oh, he's going to get knocked up. That is Seafood for T1, given the particular skin choice there of the Lulu.
It was so massive when aiming ulted in that last skirmish in mid, and Guma didn't. So he gets to take away the Twitch ultimate going into a big critical fight while still maintaining his. And that's a Zeri who, you know, has an Infinity Edge, like you said, hit it right then and there. Now has been given the upgraded Immortal Shield Bow too. That's going to be Soul Point going over to T1, and they have full control over this map. This might have just been the backbreaking moment here for KT, because yes, they have this strong side laning Gwen, but they won't be able to use it safely anymore once Owner's ult is back up, which is, you know, going to be very soon here. And I think he was trying to hope for a siege of this turret.
Well, Zeus is going to turn up. Aiming completed Kraken Slayer, so it wasn't the Infinity Edge like I inferred it could be. So instead, he's going to complete the Mythic. Not exactly should be able to use this Baron buff to extend it even further. They still have 1 more minute. As Cuz, he ulted. He's going to get that refunded just a little bit because he didn't actually use it. But he's not going to be able to defend that inner turret. As Owner wrapping around.
There should be an inhibitor here. KT just don't have the damage to follow up on this. If aiming ults here, you also have lost that tool once again. And Owner is just hanging out like, are you guys going to try to collapse? I'll turn the lights off.
Yeah, just keeping on threatening. His paranoia has been so valuable so far. And especially when you have an advantage. Yep, like you say, the inhibitor turret's going to go down. Inhibitor to follow, as Shockwave is not going to find aiming, who manages to sprint his way out, and now a Realm Warp to come on forward. Vikla just kind of, Rascal by himself, as Aiming's trying to do damage, but Zeus just denying him completely. Now Aiming's able to try and kite this one out as Owner goes golden. Aiming's still alive for now, but the rest of his team is evaporating. And KT will unfortunately fall to maybe a pentakill for Gumayusi. T1 say goodnight to the telecom war with over 4,000 assists on Faker in the second pentakill of the season against the man that got the first one.
Beautiful play from Guma there in the end, but at the end of the day, it's KT losing map control for just 1 second.